Hello class, and welcome back to Mr. Marlowe's 6th grade online learning for math. This is video number 2 for lesson 3 on creating dot plots. Okay, so we have 2 exercises today. We have creating dot plots and we have estimating the center using dot plots. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this first one, creating dot plots. And it says the following data points represent the number of losses the Minnesota Igloos have had each season. 10, 9, 12, 10, 11, 12, 11. So each of these numbers represents the amount of losses in a year or in a season. So using this data, create a dot plot where each dot represents a season. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to figure out, we're going to create this dot plot, how many seasons, right, did the Minnesota Igloos have 9 losses? Well, let's go through this list and see. Let's circle them. How many times do we see a 9? Just once, right? So I'm going to put 1 dot. How many times did the Minnesota Igloos have 10 losses? Well, let's see. Let's go through and circle all the 10s in our list. There's 1 and there's 2. So 2 seasons, they had 10 losses. How many seasons did they have 11 losses? Well, there's 1, there's 2, and 11 losses. And how many seasons did they have 12 losses? There's 1 season and 2 seasons. They had 12. Oh, now I added an extra dot by accident. If you do that by accident, it's okay. Just click it again, and one of the dots will go away. Okay? Let's do another one. The frequency table below shows the number of pets Jamal's classmates own. So over here we have the number of pets, and then over here we have the number of classmates who own that number of pets. So 3 classmates own 0 pets, 4 classmates own 1 pet, 3 classmates own 2, 0 classmates own 3 pets, and 1 classmate owns 4. So using this data, we're going to fill in this dot plot down here. Here's our number line. The number line is numbered 0 through 4, which represents the number of pets. So how many classmates own 0 pets? Here's the 0. 3 classmates owned 0 pets. How many classmates owned 1 pet? 4. How many classmates owned 3? I'm sorry. How many classmates owned 2 pets? 3. How many classmates owned 3 pets? 0. So I'm just going to leave that one blank. And how many classmates owned 4 pets? Just 1. And there's our dot plot. Okay? Good. Ooh, look, we got a little confetti. Woo! All right, the next one is estimating center. This one's a little bit more tricky, so I'm going to show you guys how to use the hint option. So it says, Mr. Munez had students in 3 class periods write essays for a diagnostic test. The following dot plots show the scores from each class. Each dot represents a different student's score. Order the class periods from least to greatest typical score and put the graph with the least typical score on top. So if we look at this, all right, there's a really good explanation of how to do this here underneath the hint section. Okay, so one way to think about the typical essay score is to find the approximate center of the data. So we want to look at where on each of these the approximate center is. So I would say here the approximate center is 3. Here the approximate center is probably between 3 and 4. And here the approximate center is between 2 and 3. Okay. So again, for the first period, right? First period, it says it right here. The approximate center is between 2 and 3. For the second period, it's between 3 and 4. And for the third period, the majority of the scores were 3, right? Like what you just said. Okay. So what we want to do is then put these in the correct sequence of class periods from the least typical to the greatest. Okay. So you can see first period would be the least typical spread. Second period would be the most. Oh, I'm sorry. Third period would be the second least typical, I guess you would say, and then the second period would be the most typical. So that's the order we want to put these in. And we got it right. Okay. All right, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. Again, we just have the 2 exercises, creating dot plots and estimating setter. You can reach out to me on Google Classroom. You can use the Remind app or email me at emarlow@rochesterdiscovery.com. Thanks.